What's up, dude? How you been, bro?
I was actually thinking it's fun to be spontaneous, but I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. So I was like, I don't know, life update. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. I passed the kidney stone, guys. I did it. I finally passed it. I thought I was going to have to go to the ER again on Thursday. I left work, came home, took the hydrocodone, and it was 2 hours and the pain didn't stop. And then I realized that I hadn't had food in my system yet. So I was like, dang, I took medication or whatever. And I felt sick, like nauseous. And I went and like ate literally a piece of toast and felt like 10 times better. So it was like false alarm on having to go back to the ER. But it was not fun. But yeah, I passed the stone finally. So I still have to have my surgery on the 22nd, but at least I know that it might be smooth sailing until then.
So that's interesting that they're making you have the surgery even though you passed it. Why?
Well, I
Like
have multiple
why?
other ones.
Oh, so this one was just one of many. I'm
Yes.
tracking.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tracking.
So just the path, it's like once it gets to a certain spot, there's no pain, but when it's trying to move, apparently it's like closing and opening, like trying to force the stone down. And it's
Dude,
just
people are
this
gonna be gnarly. Like it's gonna be gross when they see the photo of it. Cause I saw it when you sent it to me the other day. I was like, this thing is nasty, dude.
dude.
It
And
is gross.
I was just talking to a buddy of mine. He's older and he was talking about his kidney stone and he sent me a photo of his. It was literally a circle, like a smooth stone. Mine came out a sharp ass crystal, like the spiky ass shit. So he said it didn't hurt when it passed. I'm over here like, hell yeah, it freaking stung like a bitch.
Yeah, he's
So
he's passing like a perfectly round like marble, and you've
exactly,
got you've got this demon crystal from fucking hell that just looks nasty and gnarly.
exactly,
Oh man,
pretty much.
what else is happening?
Um, I'm a little homesick. I'm going to LA for Thanksgiving. We bought our ticket.
Hell
That's a cool
yeah.
update. Is yeah, I'm now that it's real life, you have to enjoy the day to day. We're married, we're settled, the wedding's over. It's just like this is it, just life. So it's unfortunate that it's not like, what do you want to do for the weekend? It's more of just like, what do you want to do today? Because it's not like you could just take off to Vegas or take off to Ventura where we used to camp or like get away. It's just, what do you want to do, like activity wise? And I don't know, it's getting kind of monotonous. So I miss having access to shit in LA.
Do you feel like you're, I don't know, just like looking forward to the next thing, but you
Always.
don't always have access to that next thing, especially living on the island, getting a little island fever esque?
And it took me a year
Yeah.
to have it. I haven't had it.
Well, that's pretty good.
Done.
I mean,
So I'm going to Oahu for the first time, the first weekend of October. So coming
nice.
up a couple weeks, and then we're going again in December. We already bought our plane tickets for both, so getting those on the board's exciting. So these closing out the year is gonna be cool with trips and shit. We're gonna go camping in November. I booked it in like Kula, tent camping. So I'm all about looking forward to the next thing. I need that to kind of get through it.
Well, I know you are just a big planner, so I know that sometimes you need something out there and a date, and then I don't know if it's you just love looking forward to it or you just love kind of that anticipation. But I am hoping that you're enjoying the day to day some, because that's I talked about it before with Chelsea, and I was just like, man, we gotta have enjoy ourselves on a Tuesday. Like it's not always about living for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever you get, and
100%.
then getting the Sunday scaries and getting back to work. So
Very true. And so on Monday, I woke up at 5.
there it
And
is.
then today, I was up at 5:30. And
Good
I'm
for
telling
you.
you, so talking about depression or mental health, like I am literally finding that I'm still figuring shit out about myself. I'm finding patterns in myself. And like, really quick, an example is I was hustling, doing all this shit, spending all this money. My dad said, you should incorporate, act like this is a real business, try to write it off if you're really going to pursue all this. I did that. And then I did my first year of taxes and I realized how much I spent and I freaked out. And I was like, I'm about to get married. I can't be spending money like this. I need to be responsible, but whatever. That's when I started going on all those trips, bro. That's when I went and saw you and I went to San Fran and I went to San Diego. It was just like, let's focus on life, enjoy each other's company. Like, the entire year in LA, we did so much and we're constantly on the go for the weekend getaways. And then I started finding myself feeling like, wow, I'm not hustling. I'm not working towards anything. Like that itch came back. And then I spent all this money and I just did my taxes again. And I'm like, fuck, like I have to prove to the IRS that like it's a legitimate business. It's not an expensive hobby. The CPAs were telling me that I have to have revenue and I need to start having money coming in. So like it's more pedal to the metal. But now that we're debt free, I don't want to start spending all this money. So it's just like not a perfect way to go about it.
Do you feel like you're on a pendulum and it kind of swings from one side to where it's like all life, all trips, all fun? Or I would think that that would be all fun. Maybe that's not
Yeah.
your interpretation.
No,
And then you finally are like, oh, now I'm going back to the itch of the grind of then getting
exactly.
back and then kind of swinging back and forth.
So I don't want to have a monologue, but this is like giving me really good stuff to talk about. Finishing the thought though, learning about myself is that I think that I want to wake up at 5 so that I can work on my stuff, right? Like scripting, reading, whatever. Um, but every time I wake up, I always find myself wanting to read. It's really strange. Like I sit in front of the laptop and I don't want to work on stuff. I don't want to type and I sit in my chair and I read. So I've realized that the key to like my mental health and like enjoying life is having time for myself before I go to work. Rolling out of bed, taking Jasmine to work, coming back up to the house, taking a shower, brewing coffee, drinking it on the way down, like so like no time to myself. But the calm morning where I'm up at 5:30 and I take my time and like I sit there and I read and I say good morning to Jasmine and it's like it's not like I'm just all reactive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that really helps me, man, because I really feel like I'm on my shit when I'm waking up early.
I do the same thing. And I think I've told you about my morning routine, waking up at 4:30
Well, you
and
haven't said it,
I'll,
no. I wanted to
oh,
hear. Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
Remember I said you
So
showed me up before I even
I
could
know,
wake
no,
up?
my fault. I don't want to do that. But you
Oh no,
also get to
yeah.
go into work later. So you just kind of shift it to the right and then you stay up later than me too. So I essentially will wake up on a typical day at 4:30 and I'll wake up and I'll drink like greens, athletic greens, and I'll read my book until 5 when I leave for work. And I'll kind of most of the time I gather like my lunch and all the rest of that stuff. And I'll probably end up actually reading for 15, maybe 20 minutes while I drink and I'll sit there and kind of stretch out while I do it. And for me, it is so nice because it just totally sets the tone. And the other thing too, and I'm not sure if you've tried this before, but if you haven't, I think it'd be something that'd be interesting for you to try. Is I leave my phone on do not disturb from 9 p.m. until 7 a.m. And when I do that in the morning, I'll wake up and because it's on do not disturb, it's just going to kind of be there to play music or listen to a podcast on the drive into work. And then when 7 rolls around, I allow myself to look at stuff.
What the
So
hell, dude?
I'm
I'm like
basically
first thing
no,
looking
no,
at
no. I
messages.
know, and it's interesting because I've been like that. I used to do that before too, but when I started setting the boundary, it made it even more my time before, if that makes sense. So you get, you don't have other people's problems or work things or social media that's kind of just flooding your mind with all this information. It's just you, the book, or for me, it's me, the book, and then me, the weights, or me, the whatever in the morning because then I go into work at 5. I work out. Typically, I'm in the gym 5:30 to 7, and then I'll roll into my day from that. I'll take a shower and I'll roll in. And luckily, my gym just happens to be at work that I'll go to.
Yeah, it's a good
So for
setup.
me, yeah, that's great. And then my work day is so cheap, man. It's fucking skate ass. Sorry, I hate to say that, but it's the best hours ever, dude. I work 7:30 to 2. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know, and I have to sleep overnight at work sometimes, but 7:30 to 2 on most days, I don't think it gets better than those hours personally
I
anywhere.
mean,
I don't yeah. So,
I feel that.
yeah. So it's super nice. So then I'll come home and sometimes I'll be training like my personal training client, and I'll talk about that in a second a little more too. And then sometimes I'll coach a class at the gym and then rinse, wash, repeat. And I've started to really fall in love with that process because we're, reading and then I'll journal at night too. And it just kind of helps me I don't know, collect my thoughts. And the journal is a free writing thing where I might write one sentence, I might write a paragraph, I might write a page, and
Oh,
it
dang.
just kind of lets me get some stuff out. And I'll do it at night to kind of reflect on the day and kind of set an intention for the next one. So
Well, I don't got my shit together like that, my friend.
come on, man, you're well
I'm
along.
I'm I'm in bed hitting the bong with my phone in my hand, like
See, that's nothing
time
wrong
for
with
bed.
that. That's the process. All right,
Like
let me
reflecting on the day, writing and shit. You go.
right.
You go. I see you.
I'm
You got
trying,
the
man. I'm
essential
trying.
oils burning.
Oh my gosh, I sound like such a hippie, man. So here,
That's
listen,
lit.
I'll give you even more hippie stuff. Ready?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up?
So today, a quick little update for me. My personal training client, if you ever listen, shout out to Cole. He is an absolute savage.
What's up, Cole?
He he started off coming to me and he couldn't do like 5 push-ups in a row. And now he's a dog, man. He's hitting sets of 20s. He's, doing amazing on his like fitness and kind of life-changing journey. He's diabetic, so I think his mother and father were like, "Hey, we really want you to start kind of taking this more seriously because of his health."
Mhm.
Or, he's not like a big guy, but he's actually a pretty skinny guy, which, is pretty impressive given that he is diabetic, but they wanted him to start taking his health and life in general more seriously, and that's to keep him healthy, like moving forward. So, long story short, we started training together, and today I decided to do something a little bit different, and I took him to the park and I set up a slack line at the park. I know we talked about the slack line in the last episode. Pretty funny that I've been doing it like the last 2 days now. I did it
Mhm.
yesterday with Chelsea and today with him. But we basically did a set where one person would work out and do the, curl, the presses, or whatever the exercise was, and the other person would be on the slack line. And the slack line is a lot of balance and core coordination and stuff. So you're still working. And then we just flip flop. So me and him were doing that today. And he crushed it, man. Learning how to do that, it's really challenging, but it was super
Dang.
neat, like watching him overcome the frustration of the slack line. Cause at first you try to stand up and you feel like Bambi, dude. Your legs are just like, but eventually you get it, and then you take a step and you get juiced up, and then you take 2 steps, and yeah, it was pretty neat. So, shout out to him continuing to put in the work and showing up, man. He's got the consistency thing that he's just starting to work. And it's amazing to see people that are showing up to do the work. Anyway, Cole, just, great dude. Glad he's working hard. I got a couple other updates for you. You ready for them?
For sure. Go for it.
So I went to Nashville to a music festival this past weekend, which is why we're recording today is Wednesday instead of our normal Sunday routine. I'm getting us all out of funk. I'm sorry about that. It's
It's
life,
all
life
good.
is happening, but we're flexing, we're doing our thing. But I went to Nashville with my hometown friends, Andre and Darren, and then met one of my friends, Andre, his buddy from work also came up with him. And we had an absolute blast. We got to see a bunch of people play. Unfortunately, the last day of the festival, we got canceled basically like halfway through the music just because there was lightning close, and then they just didn't even try to continue it. But it was called Blended Music Festival. That was like a wine and food themed music festival. So it's kind of cool. They had like all these wines from Napa Valley, and they're all like, "Oh, Napa Valley wines." I'm like, man, we live right there. We don't have to come all the way here for Napa Valley wine, but it's all good. It was still really cool. All those guys, we had a great time. I won't put my buddy Darren on blast too much. He may have had to get picked up by a security guard, and we may have had to walk like 3 miles to go retrieve him. Sorry, collect him was the term that we had to use because he had a little bit of a good time and lost his phone, and it
Come on,
was
Darian.
this whole ordeal. But like I said, I'm not going
That's
to put him
funny.
on blast too much. But I did want to hit on something from the weekend that I learned kind of in reflection before the podcast. I was thinking about it and wrote it down. And it was giving people compliments. And the interesting thing about it was we met so many cool people that time, the whole weekend that we were there. And sometimes when you are standing next to somebody at a festival or standing next to them at a concert or in that at a bar, people are like, I don't really know what to say. I don't know how to start a conversation with this person. And I decided all weekend, either subconsciously or consciously, that I was just going to give somebody a compliment to strike up a conversation with them. So, and the first day that we're at the concert, we're at this venue and we're all in pretty close proximity. So I was like, well, we'll just meet the people around us. And I started, I'd be like, oh man, that's a fucking awesome t-shirt, dude. Like, that's what's up. And then I'd be like, hey, what's your name? Get to know them a little bit. And then, move on to the next guy in a little bit. And you meet his buddy and it just kind of ripples out. And eventually you've got this group around you that their name, where they're from. They get to know you a little bit. You leave there with a friend and making people feel good. And there's something to be said of giving somebody a compliment and them just smiling and like loving it. They're like, oh yeah. And you never would have talked to them anyway, but you kind of open the door. And I think it helps people be more open with you. If you're just like, oh man, those are, kick-ass shoes, or your fit's clean, or that's a sweet hat, or, I would trade you t-shirt, whatever you want
Yeah.
to say. And it doesn't have to be like flirty if you're doing it with a female or male,
Yeah.
vice
You're
versa.
saying
It doesn't
chop it
have to
up.
be
Hey,
creepy. Yeah.
Shawty.
Yeah. But just like doing it to where it's like casual and you're having a good time. And, people really, really responded to it. We had a guy that we met on the first day who wanted to hang out with us on the next day. And he like grabbed our phone number and we were hanging out with him out at the bars. So kind of
Oh yeah.
interesting and something that I kind of wanted to hit on because it was related to me headed down to Nashville, just kind of giving people compliments because it makes you feel good. Number one, because they're smiling and have a good time. And
Yeah,
number
that's
two,
true.
it makes other people kind of open up to you and then ask you because you're taking the first step. And it's really, really easy to do, I think.
I'm with you, dude. I I was even thinking today, one of the businesses my boss owns is a coffee shop, and we went down there. We go down there, and I remember you were there. What the hell? You visited. You know this, but um, I commented on a dude's shirt. He had a World Industries. Do you remember that brand, dude? Fucking throwback. It was the World Industries with the devil icon. And then I said, "Yo, that's a sick shirt." And then my boss was asking me what it meant because she's like 60 something, and she was just talking about like she had no idea what it was, and I was like trying to describe it. I don't even remember. So it's like some edgy skater, like Hot Topic Spencer's vibe throwback.
I know for a fact that with all your spooky stuff, you used to live in Hot Topic and Spencer's.
Oh
There's
hell yeah,
no
dude.
way. There's no
Do
way
you
you would
remember?
shop anywhere else in the mall.
Do you remember the iconic like Spencer's has like the dirty shit? There's like the dancing tits. Like you push the button and it's like a plaque, and it like just moves.
They had like the mugs and
The
like
weed
the
apparel.
whole backside that had like dildos and stuff
Yep,
on the
yep.
walls. And
It's like
you would go in
bachelorette
there.
party
And
like
dude, it's crazy.
material.
You go in there and you're like 13 years old and you think it's all funny and you're kind of
Yeah,
embarrassed and you don't really know what to do.
100%.
Oh my
Sticking
gosh.
all the piercings, the gauges, like the displays with the wallets, and yeah, how funny. Just
I
down the rabbit hole.
I love a chain wallet, man. Let's talk about the chain
Oh,
wallet. Bring it back.
bitching,
Bring
bro.
back the chain wallet.
Hell yeah.
Oh
It's
man.
crazy. We don't have a normal mall here in Maui. Like it's just like an outdoor setup. I like need to go back to Cali and hit the Topanga. We don't have I've never even went to the malls. I don't know about you. In like junior high, it was when all the girls and the guys, whatever, like, yo, let's go meet up at the mall. And the parents would just drop you off and then you just run around doing stupid shit. Do you ever do anything like that?
Not really. Our meetup spot was Ice World. We used to go ice skating in junior
Oh, dope.
high. And that was the
Oh,
move,
that's sick.
man. I tell you what, and I'm
That's
gonna
sick.
put myself on blast real quick too. Is we would go to Ice World, and this was when like Soldier Boy came out.
You
And I'm telling you, Crank That came out, and there was a time where that song would play, and every single person on the ice, mind you, in ice skates,
they're
we're
doing the
doing it.
dance.
We're doing it, dude, doing the whole dance. And it was,
Why
oh my
crank it on me,
gosh, man. It
bro?
was like nobody knew that when we had the Envy phone and the Sidekick, and
The
when Crank That Soldier Boy came on, or the Razor, the Motorola Razor, that was where we'd all peak. That's where it all
well,
just
for me,
after
even
that.
Flow Rida, the song Low,
Yep, man, that's crazy. But yeah,
apple
that was
bottom
our
jeans, boots with the fur.
that was our hangout spot, man. We used to go there
That's a
in middle
badass place to
school.
hang out.
Yeah, it was cool. And there was always like women there. There's always your boys would always go. The line was crazy. The line would be you'd be waiting in like 15, 30 minutes just to get in. And they were cranking people out. And luckily I had my own skates. So I would just like bring my skates in, throw them on, and bounce out. But it was definitely a process to get down there. Convince my mom or my buddy's parents to bring us.
Dude, you know what's underrated is like bowling alleys, man. Just
Yeah.
going with your boys.
Drunk bowling's
Drink,
pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
drinking, yeah,
Yeah.
drinking at the bowling alley, like the dude, I miss like the arcade games, man. Like of course, zombie shit. House of the Dead, Carnival, like all the cool badass.
What about the OGs like Pac-Man and Galactica and all those?
Man, what are you
Like,
fucking?
come on,
My
dude.
dad's born 62. You be saying that shit.
Don't play
How
with me,
old are
man.
you,
Don't
dog?
don't don't age me like
Yeah,
that,
how you
man.
gonna skip all the other cool shit? Go straight to the retro.
Man,
It's
yeah, the
Galaga
dude,
doing all
those
your.
retro games were the
I
shit,
mean, they're
man.
fire, but I'm talking like the cool shoot 'em up games.
Yeah. I didn't play
Resident
a whole lot of
Evil.
those. Were you a big like Dave and Buster's guy? Did you used to hit up Dave and
I've actually never
Buster's?
been.
Really? You
So I'm
should
talking
go
about
there.
arcades. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta go there,
yeah,
man.
that would be
They
fun.
probably have one on Island.
Nope. Dude, they got nothing out here, dog. Oh,
Come on, man.
Chick-fil-A just opened here. That's big news on Island. Jasmine just
Huge.
bought it twice already. It like just opened 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So she went to the other side and picked it up. So I had Chick-fil-A. So it's cool that it's in Maui now, not just our like first stop in Cali.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Are
real
you
quick, real quick.
go ahead?
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna ask you because we were talking about Chick-fil-A. It's a quick question. Are you an In-N-Out guy? I know
Oh,
you're a
hell yeah.
Cali. So
Hell yeah.
I hate to be this person to you because I know it's gonna hurt you. I think In-N-Out is not as great as every Californian thinks In-N-Out is. And I think that Texans have Whataburger and Californians have In-N-Out. And then like people from the Northeast, like Wawa, and then the Florida people have their pub stuff. Like every region, it's so interesting, has their niche like
Yeah.
fast food joint that
Like
they think is
staple.
better than everything else. And I'll tell you personally, I would go to Five Guys 100 times out of 100 over In-N-Out just because I think it's much better. But
Oh, nah,
that's
dude.
just me, man.
Double
So
double, grilled onions, animal style fries.
it's coming,
Let's
man. You get to
go.
come back and hook it
I can't
up.
wait, man. But real quick, really sad. Just gotta touch on it, dude. Pnb Rock, man. Rest in peace. I'm so sad. You see that?
I did see
I
that.
was so bummed, dude. Fucking X died, King Von's dead, Pop Smoke's dead. Like now Pnb Rock got killed in LA. Fucking tragic, man. He's only 30, dude.
It's tough, man.
It
It's
sucks, dude. Like me and Jasmine have so many of his songs. It sucks too how like so much music comes out. So like I kind of understand the whole thing of like when rappers die, everybody goes to their music and that's when they're getting all this success because everybody's like not just morbid curiosity, but just like who is this person, whatever. You get your flowers after all that. But yeah, it's like all his good shit. It's still good music, but there's so much other stuff that came out. So me and Jasmine on our date night, just driving down, she was so that was the first rapper I've ever seen her. Was not well, yeah, rapper, whatever. But she was so bummed, dude. I was like, finally, she felt that, when the hip hop community has enough love. Like she's never appreciated hip hop enough, but
man.
she
Yeah,
definitely
it's
fucked with PNB.
all that stuff's sad, man. And when Pop Smoke died, I remember I was so upset too because I had just started to listen to his stuff really heavy, and then I saw it and I was like, "This is the worst. This is the worst."
Sucks, yeah. And King Von, he was doing really good, and then like Lil Durk had helped him, and then boom, he's dead. Sucks. Anyways,
It's
I just want to
sad.
touch on that. You're talking about music. I was gonna interrupt you, but I was like, I'll save it. But I just have to say, yeah, rest in peace, man. Such a bummer.
Yeah. So I've got a couple other things I want to hit on. One that's kind of a quick thing, but I don't know if you will be able to relate to, but
Go
maybe
for
some
it.
other people will. I the other day, and actually pretty recently, I'd say there's been a few guys that have been more consistently going to the gym at work that I don't personally know that well. Um, and I don't know why I do this, but in my like dumb gorilla brain that I have, when somebody is like in the gym and I like don't know them, and it's not that I'm like this at all, but maybe I am, I don't know. is that I like immediately fabricate this like Michael Jordan mindset of this person is my gym nemesis now. And I need to work harder because they're here. And it's like
Interesting.
I almost like fabricate that they're the enemy, although they have nothing to do with what I'm doing. And I hardly even pay attention to them. Like I'm very focused on what I'm doing. But when they're there and I don't know really who they are, it makes me like hyper focus and work extra hard. And I don't understand what it is. It makes me like look at when I was watching Michael Jordan's documentary, like he would essentially just make up that someone would be like, talking shit about his mom or, you know, called him out and said something about him, even though it never happened. And it's interesting that I subconsciously, this just occurs to me and I have no idea why. And maybe I don't know if maybe you'll know. I don't know. Maybe it's
Dude,
something that
I
happens to you at the
cannot
basketball
relate.
court. I don't know.
I'm
And
like,
that's the thing though, is like I
yeah,
would go
yeah,
up
yeah.
and talk to them and then it would be completely gone. If
Yeah,
we have
how
a
funny.
working relationship at all. But the thing is, in the military, people are in and out all the time, right? Like, so we just finished transfer seasons typically in the summer. So now we have new guys that just came in who I've never seen before because I've been at the unit now for almost 2 years. But now that the new guys are in and the old guys are out, I don't really know them. And you don't really get to know the guys really well until you fly with them. And this
Mhm.
guy I happen to not fly with yet. So it's so odd to me. Like he's in there all the time when I'm in there. And I'm just like, man, it's my gym nemesis, man. And I
How
want to
funny.
break it. I need to go talk to him. I'm calling myself out, kind of some accountability to just like go up and introduce myself and just be like, hey man, like I see you in here. Cause he's putting in the work. Super fit dude. But I don't
Mhm.
know. It's like something that it makes, I don't know. Like now I don't know if I should talk to him because then am I not going to work as
Well, you're
hard
gonna
when I
lose your
don't have a
drive.
gym? Yeah, I'm still. I don't know, man. It's so tough, so
You
tough.
need a villain.
I know. Maybe I do. I don't
Do you
know.
like strive to be the best? You got like
So I don't like ego lift. I guess there's some guys that do that where they'll put like a lot of weight out and just try and bench press more. And if they see another guy put on another plate, like they want to put on another plate or whatever. But I don't pick up heavy shit. So
sports.
no, I
Oh,
know, I know. So for me, it's like it's so different because he is actually picking up really heavy weight and I'm not. But for me, I still
so fuck him, right?
no, no. I still have fabricated a gym nemesis and I don't understand why. Maybe somebody will be able to tell me after this. Maybe we'll have
What if
somebody
he's an
reach
asshole?
out.
What if it's
I don't
real?
think that. I don't think that.
I think that.
Because no, no. Because he's like a smiley guy. He's so serious in there and focused,
Yeah.
but he
What a
like
piece of shit.
smiles and like when I walk out, I'm like, see you later, man. He's like, see ya. So maybe it's
You
just
fake as hell. No, just kidding.
no, no, don't say that.
The whole hour you're like, fuck this dude. Yo, hey, peace out. I'm out. Yo.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
kidding.
So I'm gonna call myself out. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go up and say hi to him, try and be like, hey, what's your name? And part of it I think too comes from me trying to make it my me time until 7. So if
Mm,
anybody else is in there from 5:30 to 7, I'm like, oh dude, you're fucking with the me time. I'm not very talkative in the gym. So maybe that's part of it too. Maybe I
mm.
should reach out to or branch out a little bit, but I just wanted to
Get,
bring that up and
get
see how
out your
you
comfort
felt.
zone.
Yeah, I wanted to see how you felt, and then you could call me out and make fun of me too. It's all good.
Oh, I mean,
That's what it's
shit.
about, dude. It's what it's about.
I'm the couch potato. I'm just being the homebody. Um, I told you last time I played basketball, so I'm still not a coach. If anybody's wondering, it hasn't
Damn,
happened.
it's coming,
Sorry.
dude. So here's another point that I thought of, and I don't know if it truly applies to anything we've talked about now, but we'll kind of pivot. And it's a really interesting thing that I have taken to heart, and it's people in general don't remember, or at least I don't, and I'm generalizing, making an assumption that other people think the way I do. I don't know if I should be doing that, but people don't remember what you say or what you do, but people always remember the way you make them feel. And I think it's like a really powerful thing to think about because you may not always say the right thing, you may not always do the right thing, but if you are good and people can see that, they will always hold on to that thing, like you being a good person and you treating them well or with respect and having a mutual like love for that person, even though they might not remember the funny joke you said or the fact that you know, called them out on something, but they always go back to, man, like there's way there's ways like they made me feel better about myself or made me know that they were a good person. And I think that, you know, that's how all the people that I hold dear to me are people that have always done that. Like I can't think of, you know, my best friends, Andre and Emma from home. Like they've been my friends for over a decade.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even point, like we've hung out a bunch of times. I couldn't ever rattle off all the times we hung out, but I can always say like those two have always made me feel good about like me and our friendship and relationship, and the same with you. So it's interesting to me that is just something that I was kind of reflecting on to see what you thought too.
No, for sure. I'm homesick, like I said, man. I miss quality time with my dad, if I'm being real, you know. I I don't know. It's so weird, like creating my life out here and just navigating again, planning ahead. Like update for you. Jocelyn, did I tell you already Jocelyn didn't make it into the program
Oh
because she was
no.
late? Yeah. So come to find out she's not going to be able to make it in on time. So basically what's happening is the hygienist programs every odd year. So this year she would do her prerequisites and then get in to the hygiene program that odd year, 2023. But she can't do her prerequisites because she's late. And now she has to wait till 2025.
Wow. So that pushes her 2 years then.
Yeah. So that will, it pushes like the timeline even for us and like when we want to have kids. So like just understanding big picture, it's like I feel like I'm gonna be here a long time. Honestly, like we're settling in, we're in a good spot, we're very blessed to have the house or the house set up. We're doing well, she's happy and she's content with her job enough to where she's going to make a career out of it, right? She went to school to be she finished her undergrad in accounting, started her MBA, realized she wanted to be done, join the workforce, doing something completely different and fall in love with it and is willing to recommit to school, you know, like I'm really proud of her and shit. Just thinking long term in Maui. It also, I wanted to tell you this. Sorry if I'm like changing the subject, but um, for me and like calling myself out, seeing like, am I really about this shit? I think about me not having finished school and working a bunch of random jobs in like different business settings, and I'm seeing all of this, and it's like I want that for myself. So I have to be full time to work and then full time to you know, being off the court, doing all the research, putting in time, editing, researching. Like, um, I'm reading a book right now about like YouTube success, and I actually was thinking it'd be kind of cool to reflect on some things with you privately, just for the sense of how to make a successful podcast was part of the things it talked about, which was a cool touch. But I don't know, man. Like, I want to see if I'm really about it. I've been saying for all these years that I want to be in media and I want to be a writer and be a director and all these like dreams. So I just find if I want to manifest with you right now, the dream is to live in Maui and then fly to LA and just have access to that huge community out there when I need it and then be able to go back and forth. And it's like, how blessed am I that of all the places I could have been from, I'm right here. Like it's 5 hours. If I'm willing to drive to Vegas 5 hours on a Friday, why couldn't I fly? Like this job that I'm working, I can remote connect. So I just really hope that I can succeed. And just an update for you is I really want to put the pedal to the metal on just putting shit out there because I've been putting it off and making excuses and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. Do you think that you would have to go back to school to really capture that, um, I guess, media, social, you know, director, some sort of, you know, arts degree that would be more your niche, maybe? Because I know you were like, you went back to college and they tried to put you into an algebra or pre-calculus or whatever it was. And you're like, dog, this ain't for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Algebra,
if
algebra
you're,
two, bring
and
it
you know what,
down.
we talk, yeah, whatever, man, whatever it is. But, you know, we've talked about that before, and you tell the fish to climb a tree and it's just
Right,
not
right,
going to
right,
work.
right,
Right.
right, right,
So,
right.
you have to tell the fish to swim. So if that's kind of your niche, have you thought about maybe doing that to where you can get some professional? And I don't know, I'm not going to say that school is a requirement for you to be successful, because it's totally not. There's millions of people in the world that are incredibly successful business people even that have never been to school.
Right.
But, I always think, I think I would be better at managing finance, at managing, my own personal stuff with doing fitness coaching and whatnot if I had an MBA. If I had a more business mindset from spending a couple years in graduate school, or even having had my business or managerial undergrad, so I
What you
don't
do for
know.
undergrad? I never even asked. I don't
I
know.
was a mechanical engineer for
Oh,
undergrad.
damn.
But
Gotcha.
again, so totally different. We're doing thermodynamics and rocket science, and those guys are talking about P&L sheets. And that's like, what's more practical? I mean, I don't know. The computer does all the shit that I learned. And, sure, you learn the fundamentals and math behind it and the theories, and you work on little problems. But at the end of the day, like, all that stuff is generated by a computer. And the business side is kind of where I think I'm shifting more and more to a managerial and business mindset and away from the engineering stuff. And it's like, man, maybe that path for me is trying to get a grad school degree that's like an MBA, or
Oh, dope.
in a business setting, because I think I've told you privately, I'm not sure if it's been on here before, but my dream is to, I think, one day open up a gym. And in that gym, I'm training young athletes that are in high school or even like middle school that want to play at the next level, and they want to play, semi or into college, and then maybe even in a professional setting. And I think it'd be really cool to have a space where, you could train a basketball team there, train a baseball, lacrosse, a soccer, football team, and you get those kids together and you make it affordable for all those families. Because at the end of the day, I don't think there's a lot of options like that exist. When I played baseball, and I'm not sure if I've even told you this. I played baseball for 12 or 13 years of my life before shifting to lacrosse in high school. And I reached a point in the sport where the difference in the people that are going to college and really excelling is going to be based on where you go to high school to play, because scouts aren't going to go watch some dud team play.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also depends on getting like a hitting coach or a pitching coach or a fielding coach, like whatever, that who played high level, so that they can either connect you with a coach because they're like, hey, this kid can ball, or so that they can improve your game, because like high school dad that's coaching the team or whatever at the mom and pa school down the street isn't really going to improve your game enough. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Especially in those technical areas where, in football, you need a strength and conditioning coach, dude. I hate to break it to you, but Alabama's not recruiting you if you're not coming out of high school as a 5-star recruit who's strong and big and athletic and fast. And sure, there's people that are born with that, but a lot of those guys have to work for it. And I just think that it'd be really cool to make that accessible to people, and then bringing coaches in that had that experience and then can connect kids and help them with the recruiting process. Cause I never had that when I was growing up, and I think it'd be really neat. So all that to say that don't steal my business plan too.
Oh, no.
For anybody listening,
Anybody else
you
might
too
steal it.
include. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't work out, so
Don't do that. But if you do want to do it and you have access to a gym space, hit me up. I might be in on helping. We can maybe collab. But
yeah. Except for a 10% stake in my company.
that's right. That's right. We're going on
Shark
Shark
Tank
Tank.
head ass.
But I say all of that because I think, shifting to a business mindset, like if I don't know how to draft that up and figure that out, how am I going to, like, starting a business 101? I'm going to have to literally Google like how to start a business at some point if I'm not,
Yeah.
doing the research all the time and figuring that stuff out. And you went through it a bunch with the clothing stuff and
Yeah.
all the branding that you've done. And I'm sure you've learned a bunch, whether it was by trial and error, which I'm sure a lot of it was, or
Dude,
by
how
the little
funny.
bit of research that probably saved you a little bit of time, effort, money, and energy. So for
Right.
me, I would say, maybe a little bit of a business, or maybe like a film or some sort of background in the schooling, may help you achieve that goal in a more effective and quick way. Although, again, hopefully they don't make you take algebra 2, but
Yeah. First class. Like, oh, here we go again. No, I hear you, man. It's cool. I think it's so cool to be at the part of my life that I'm at right now. Like 25, married, settled, got my shit, like got a good thing going, and now it's like, let's see where life takes me, And now I don't have to call you every like 6 months and then have bad shit. I'll just call you weekly for the pod and you'll see the progression. No more
Well,
calling
I
Blaise
know
bad omen.
it's funny. Yeah, I know you did
None of
actually.
that anymore.
I have been getting, and so the people know too, is I've been getting a couple little clips and texts from Alex that are in his horror stuff, and that have been pretty neat. So he's definitely grinding out there and putting out a bunch of content. So, and I
I'm
don't know how you
trying,
do it,
dude.
man. You're editing this and then, moving to doing that stuff and scripting and doing the all that, which I'm sure is a lot of work. It's a very different lab than I operate in on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
but it definitely, is impressive that you're starting to put the pedal to the metal. But we talked about it before, man. Don't let the pendulum swing too far this way. And then
Yeah.
you get to that burnout thing where you start to, you're starting to get really homesick or you're starting to do whatever. So maybe call your dad, maybe hit him with a FaceTime and chat with him for 20 minutes or whatever when we get off or something.
Yeah, no, I had talked to him. A lot of the shit he'll bring up is having a budget and having a plan, and all I hear when he says that is that my timeline is so fucked because if I do it the right way, it's gonna take forever. He's just giving me wise counsel. It's just me not being receptive because I don't want to hear it. But um, I don't know. He's supportive, but then he also just knows how I am. I don't like that I'm hot and cold. It's not a good thing. I've told Justin before, I wish I was more consistent because I have strong emotions toward things, and then uh it's like it kind of feels like a roller coaster sometimes. But I wanted to ask you, just out of curiosity, when I moved to Maui, I was totally down to start doing therapy again. And it got to the point where I was working Marriott. As soon as I got here, I was all set up with the therapist, and he was like, "All right, what's your schedule?" And I was like hating my life because my schedule would change. I would work mornings, nights, weekends. Like I hated that the schedule would come out every other week. So I dead ass, because I was annoyed at that, I left the therapist hanging and I never scheduled it. And then now it was like, because I'm in such a good place, I'm like, maybe I should just go for it. I should just have the therapy. Like therapy isn't only for when you're down. It's kind of like, I think it would be amazing for somebody that doesn't know me to hear what I say and then 1 week later hear me say the next thing and be like, listen, you were here last week. I don't have that like anchor mentally. I'm kind of like all over the place. I feel super confident in the business stuff, and then I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, what am I doing? I'm trying my best. And then it's like everything's falling into place. And then it's like, it's the same thing happened last time, getting the taxes done. It's that panic of I don't have a return on investment, and I'm still trying to prove to myself and Jasmine that I'm gonna make this work. You feel me?
Yeah. Do you think that you're going to go back and do it?
Do what?
Do therapy with somebody? And
Oh shit, my fault.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, I'm down. If anything, I love routine. I love looking at my calendar and seeing that every Sunday is record. Well, this is kind of cool. I'll mention this. Um, Before me and Jackson got married, I had mentioned before that I had like wanted to read books about marriage before having that new commitment because I wanted it to feel different. We read a book together, and I think I did mention this because I try to emulate it for the 15 Principles book I did with the application questions at the end of each chapter. As me and Jackson were asking each other like difficult questions, and it was the book was asking. It wasn't like me asking her. Um, and it just like really initiated discussion. But we're reading a book right now called Meetings for a Lasting Marriage, and it's a really good book, and it's um something that we're gonna do like every Sunday. We read 2 chapters now so far, and it's just kind of fun. And we worked for her mom who sells jewelry at the hotel. We worked for her on Saturday so she could not have to work. She had plans in Oahu, and we still wanted to make money. And it was just like a whole day where we just sat together. It was like good quality time for me and Jasmine. Every time there was nobody there, we were just sitting and talking. Um, Update for the podcast: me and Blaise are still reading Cry Like a Man. I read like 8 chapters that day, and then I read I think like 4 or 5 chapters this morning. I was thinking I could try to finish it before today, but I still got plenty to go. And it's a crazy book. We'll talk about that. But circling back to what I'm saying, quality time with Justin has been super fun, and getting on the schedule, having a routine, getting up at 5 in the morning. These are all like really important things for me to be like really on my shit where I don't know, how do I want to say, when I'm reaching my full potential. That's what I really feel like.
Do you think that adding a therapy session would be good? I feel so, all things being transparent here, I have never done like formal therapy before.
Mm,
I have nothing against it. I think that I would probably benefit from it just like anybody would, whether I'm having a great day or an awful day or anything in between.
yeah.
Um, I know that there's a lot of like online entities. And I think that for me personally, the hardest part about it in the military space is like for a long time, like I didn't even know if it would be covered. Like TRICARE is the insurance company that does like stuff. And for the most part, like anytime you go to the ER, anytime you go and get blood work or something like that, when you're in the military, like you never get a check at home. But to me, not knowing and I think maybe somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it is covered for people active duty military as long as you're transparent with your primary care provider that you can like make that happen. So for me, it's always been something that I've been flirting with because of you know just in general, like trying to understand myself a little better, the way that I communicate with friends, partners, even like my relationship with my dad that I'm sure we'll end up like touching on at some point in the podcast. Just because, it hasn't always been the best, so
Yeah.
I think that having someone who is completely detached from your day-to-day life is probably, and I'm sure everybody else will echo, really, really beneficial. So
Well,
I'm,
that's the anchor I'm kind of referring to, is that
yeah,
if I'm like calling my dad saying, "Hey, life is so good, this is this," and then all of a sudden, a couple of days later, like I'm going through it, I text him, I'm like, "Dang, like I really don't want to give up on this." He's like, "What the fuck?" Like he's kind of helping me, like, you can't be hot and cold like that. So I think that outside party could be pretty monumental for just me to, have accountability.
yeah.
That's cool that you're down too. I didn't know that. I wasn't sure if you ever did it.
Yeah, I haven't. I think that it would be really beneficial. And you know what? It's interesting too, is you probably would even get a lot out of it with Jasmine, whether you're doing well or not, like doing couples therapy.
Mm. Oh,
I
right,
think
right.
I think that'd be a pretty cool avenue too. If you guys are reading a book together, maybe it'd be interesting to like read a chapter of the book and then like go to a session after that. And then like you have something to talk about or reflect on if you want. And then otherwise you kind of can just let the therapist kind of drive the conversation and try and
Right.
understand a
Well,
little more about each other.
dude, when I have, or me and Blaze decided that the first guest we'll have on the podcast is my dad, we should talk to him about it, man. Like my dad has invested so much in his marriage, with my mom. They go to a couple's Sunday school class before church where it's, they talk about things that the man does, things that the woman does. Like it's a lot of conflict resolution before it even happens. Sometimes something that totally doesn't apply to either of them, they could just sit next to each other and be like, damn, I love that you're not like this. Like you appreciate each other more. It's not always kind of them coming at you, like you need to do this, you need to stop doing that. And my parents have gone to marriage conferences and they've always, I mean, within reason, have had a great marriage. So it's cool. Exactly that. When you are good, me and Jocelyn aren't struggling, but investing in our marriage has still been really rewarding.
All right. So I guess kind of on that same note of stuff we're talking about, kind of balancing life and like therapy and stuff, I did something called a 47-day transformation with the fitness guy that I work, or I guess have done online coaching with. And he brought up a really cool thing, or did a really cool thing with the group. And it was called the success wheel. And it's kind of, I guess, might be better for people if they're watching, but I can kind of try and explain what's going on. Essentially, you have like a wheel that's on a piece of paper and it kind of looks similar to, oh shit, it's all blurry. Let me unblur real quick. So it essentially will look like this, it kind of has got like all
Like a
these,
target.
yeah, kind of like a target. And what you'll do is you'll rate the things in your life from like a 1 to, you can even do like a 1 to a 3, right? 1 being the innermost target, 3 being the outermost, and you rate essentially how well you think you're doing in each category. So for example, if I felt like I was at a 2 with my love life, 3 for my fitness and nutrition, and then like a 1 for my family. And you will connect the parts around. You'll see that I have this like odd, like trapezoid looking shape. And the whole goal of the exercise is to get like a pictorial view of how balanced your life is. So how you're able to balance your love life, your fitness, your nutrition, your family, or you can, fill in the blanks of whatever you decide is important to you. And if the shape is this awkward ass trapezoid, the bike wheel, the wheel of success wheel isn't going to turn effectively. So you might be, and I find myself doing some stuff like this too, where I'm dedicating, 4 or 5 hours to going to the gym or training people and all this stuff. And then when I do that too much, my relationship takes a hit. I'm not spending enough time with Chelsea, or I'm not calling my parents, or I'm not talking to my brother. So I think it's a kind of an interesting way to audit your time that you're spending and the amount of effort that you're putting into different areas of your life, and then understand that those take balance. Like you can't always be 100% on with doing that stuff because it'll just take away so much. So it kind of steals away from those other aspects of your life. So I just thought it'd be something kind of interesting to hit on and see kind of what you thought, or if you've ever seen anything like that before.
No, but that's cool. I like that it's a visual representation. Yeah, it's not just like a questionnaire or whatever. I hear you. We're talking about all the cups being filled. That's exactly that. It's like, hey, I'm doing really good in my progress, but I'm not spending time with Jasmine, or I'm not available. I'm not going upstairs. Like, um, I was talking about quality time with my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, playing ping pong, all that. It's like, hey, I haven't worked on any of the stuff after work because I don't want to just lock myself in the office as soon as I get off and not be available. Um, or I'm giving away too much of my time. So I feel like, wow, I'm spending too much time upstairs hanging out, just doing nothing. It's affecting my, I guess like it is mental health for me, because I have to like be working towards something. I don't know why I've like never been content with just doing an honest work, finishing the day and just being able to relax. When I was doing long distance, oh, this is something I wanted to say, is I'm learning something about myself. And it's like, I don't think I'm getting lazier, but Jasmine didn't work for so long that I paid for everything, and um I wasn't spending as much. But now that she's making money and bringing more, I'm spending more. So I realized that I'm like, I used to be down to grind and like work 2 jobs, saving up for her ring. And when we did long distance, I'd work so much. And then when I first moved to Maui, I was working 2 jobs. Remember, I was working the dispatcher job for the plumbing company, and then I was working UPS. And then um in Cali, we had a really good setup, so I only worked 1. But just my point is, now that she's bringing in money, I'm like learning about myself is that I'm spending more because I feel like I can. So that's something that I need to fix. I can't, just because we're making more doesn't mean I can spend more. And it's just interesting that I've evolved a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. So funny that you mentioned that, because today I just had a call. One of my good friends from college, his name's Pat. He got out of the military and now he's actually working with a financial consulting firm. So he essentially like takes clients on and helps them do financial planning and stuff. And today we got off of a phone call of about an hour with him and his partner that help run their like part of the business. And they were basically just telling me, and they were really nice about it, but they were asking me like, hey, how much money do you have? Like, auditing my finances right there. Like, how much do you have in savings? What do you have in an IRA? What do you have in your 401k? What do you have in a savings account? Getting kind of an idea of what my, net worth is. I'm sure they're putting into that, what kind of debt I'm in, my debt to income ratio. And they're asking all these questions. And then they ask me about how I invest. And they were like talking about this stuff. And, full transparency to anybody listening, I do not invest smartly at all. So I like take all the money that I like have a bunch that's like set aside. And then I'll be like, well, I'm just going to throw all that into this account. And then the guy's like, well, he's on the phone with me and he's like, what if the market is super high right there? And then like you're just losing out on all that potential gain because you're not doing it on a more consistent basis. You're basically just taking that money and then throwing it all in all at once. So they call it dollar cost average. So I'm learning all these new terms too.
Yeah, you sound
Um,
smart as fuck. Keep
oh
going.
my gosh, man! I tell you what, just let me keep, yeah, let me let me keep vibing. Let me break it down for people that
Yeah.
probably already know and are way smarter
They,
than me about it.
huh?
I know. So basically, with the market taking highs and lows, right, peaks and valleys, if I do that lump sum and I'm buying when the price is high, then I'm not going to make as much later on. But if I'm investing in a more consistent basis, like month to month, there'll be some months where the market's down a little bit, but then I get to buy when it's low. And then like the other times where you'll buy when it's high, but that's okay because you're still investing, you know. But I'm missing, he essentially told me, like, unless I'm, which I'm absolutely not looking at the market at all. I'm basically just like, oh, I have 2 grand right now that I want to throw into my IRA. Um, and he was like, yeah, if you were just smarter with the way that you did it and you still are putting the same money away, like you would probably make more and it would just be more set up and you could have a better idea of what you take in, what you're dishing out, what you can save. Because my goal, I told him too, was that I want to buy another house when I inevitably move to Florida because I'm moving to Clearwater. Most likely, the military will send me down there because the plane that I fly is going there next.
Like,
So
what's that next to?
Clearwater, Florida is basically like Tampa, St. Pete area, really close to
Tampa.
where my parents live actually. So
That's awesome.
it would be
That's a blessing.
really, yeah, right, for sure. But it'd be really ideal. And I told them that my goal is to buy another house when I'm down there because I want to, whether I end up selling the one I bought up in California or not, I think it'd be really cool to have multiple properties or to be able to continue buying because
Hell yeah.
at the end of the
28.
day, yeah,
Okay.
tell you what, man, at the end of the day, like when I would lived in Florida and I had just got my dog Nala, she is a shepherd and pit bull like mix, right? So I went to the rental agency and I was like, "Hey, like I'm looking to buy this house. I see or rent this house. I see you guys allow dogs. That's excellent." They're like, "Yeah, what breed is it?" And I was like, she's like a mixed breed, like a shepherd mixed breed." And they're like, we can't rent to you." I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" They're like, "Well, shepherds are in the same category as pit bulls. So the renter insurance, it's all an insurance game, right? The insurances don't cover those dogs for damages or attacking a kid or whatever the case
It's
is,
happened too
right?
many
So
times.
they actually will keep you from being able to rent a place because of that. So I was like, holy shit, dude, it took me like 2 weeks to find a place just to live. So I was like living out of my like U-Haul that I was towing behind my truck that had my motorcycle in the bed of the truck that had my dog in there and all my shit in the back seat. And I
Is
was
that
like,
what you pulled up to my crib?
no. That was
Oh,
when
that
I
was the
moved from
van.
Texas. Yeah, in the
Yeah, that
van.
was the van. That was the van.
But we can talk about that like whole life thing another time for sure.
Yeah, that
Maybe
was
I'll write
cool.
that down to do that.
You kicked it in Cali.
But yeah, so I'm towing this around. I'm going to work with a U-Haul in tow because I couldn't drop it off because I didn't want somebody to take it at a place that I don't know, right?
All
Like,
your shit's gone.
yeah, and luckily, thank God for, I forget the woman's name, but she was an absolute angel. When I was checking into flight training, she offered to like watch my dog while I had to go in because I couldn't just bring her in to work. I'm at naval flight school. Like I'm not just allowed to bring a dog in and be like, hey, I'm ready for class. So this random stranger who I met, 2 weeks or 2 days before that's gonna let me stay at her place for a week was totally down to watch my dog. And she was like 75
Oh
watching a
dang.
7-month-old dog. Like she was an absolute gem. So all
Wow.
that to
So
say
you were
that
talking about winning the grandma's hearts over on the dance floor. Yeah, doing
see,
it in the
gotta
streets too.
do it in the street. I'll say that all that to say, like when I was finding a house, it was really, really frustrating. So I basically told myself, like, I am gonna buy when I can because I, as the owner, can just be like, fuck you. I'm just obviously gonna have my dog with me. And she's really sweet dog and not destructive at all and wouldn't hurt a fly.
Yeah, I can
Um,
attest. Shout out
yeah.
Nala.
Yeah. So I just, like I said, my goal, and I was talking to the advisor, I was like, I want to buy again down in Florida. And he's like, well, I think it'd be really advantageous for you to take a better look at where we can improve your investing and how to make your dollars work more for you so that you're able to do that. You're able to throw down a down payment, pull it out XYZ to make this happen. So he kind of broke down some of my finances and I mean, hopefully it ends up working out right now. It's pretty early. because we just had the call today and we're going to call again in 2 weeks. But, send that
That's
challenge out
cool.
to the people, man, to kind of get their finances in order and see how to make
Well, again,
improvements.
this is you. I can't tell people to go to the gym. I can't tell people to save. I'm not doing this shit. You're the one out here. I'll try to be like you, man, but I got more money to spend first. I don't have discretionary income to save yet. I'm still establishing myself.
Well, you can
But
just
listening to you talk like this, I'm impressed, dude. It's
you should just
more power to you,
spend Jasmine's money, and then you get to save your own. You know what I'm saying?
man. She
It's all
listens to the
yours.
pod, bro. She listens.
That's our. What's yours
Yeah,
is
and she
mine,
was paying
honey.
off the credit card with me for the shit I bought for my office. She's
Oh,
holding it
see
down
that?
too.
Look at that.
She's supporting the cause. Yeah, we don't have a joint bank account yet, but I'm way bigger spender, and I'm also like, I genuinely feel like this is an investment. So again, just the return on investment is. I'm like, this is the time cost of doing business, right? You got to spend a lot to start, and then hopefully in your first couple of years you start making money. But um, yeah, getting our finances. I mean, I have 401k from the Marriott, which is doing well. I don't get to roll it over till I'm employed for this new company for a year, but that's the only real money I have saved right now. But again, now that the wedding's over, we're gonna save up and be broke again once we spend all this money on our honeymoon next summer.
Yeah.
We're trying to go to Switzerland, Italy, and Greece.
Cool, man.
We want to start Switzerland, go down, see the Matterhorn right there, go over the border, take a train down to like Venice, work down to Florence, Rome, go down to like, is it the Alfani Coast? Alfie Coast?
Amalfi. Amalfi
Amalfi.
Coast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got trivia.
That's it, baby.
I
Put
hung
me
out with
on.
Matt. I hung out with Matt the other day. Yesterday
Yeah.
we went
Part
down
of
the
our winning
hatch.
trivia team.
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah,
to
yeah.
Matt. That's the dude.
Yeah, we were talking about you. You said you guys chopped it up sitting it down the hatch, and then I
Yeah.
pulled out the down the hatch gift card, and I was like, "You see this shit, boy?"
Did you spend it all yet? Did you
No,
guys look
half
at
of it.
you? Good. It was good for 2 meals then.
Yeah,
Yeah. Look at that.
yeah.
Look at
But
that.
we hung out, and yeah, we talked about that.
We might not show up on time to the wedding, but we sure as hell will win you some money at trivia, and that'll be the reason why.
Yeah, he was like, the whole group was smart as fuck. All the trivia, you guys knew all the answers.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We just
Yeah.
guessed. We got lucky.
Um, but yeah, dude, the honeymoon, it's gonna be a lot of money, but we want to make it happen. And
Well, I'm with you though, man. Like you can't hold on. You can't be too much of a cheap ass and saving and not take advantage of being young, having a little bit of extra
yeah,
time, and then taking advantage of that. And all that to say too, which you were kind of talking before about what I would call imposter syndrome, which I'm kind of circling back to because you talked about it probably 20 or 30 minutes ago, where you're talking about like making sure that you could prove to Jasmine that you're able to
right.
make your business a success. And because like you're out grinding and you're like trying to get, the return on investment, all this stuff. I recently, and I'm going to put it out there too, so that I hold myself to it. I again have no personal training certification, like as of September 14th today. But I've been like talking about doing it for a while, and I need to just make sure I buckle down and take my exam and kind of get it done. But I've actually looked into doing another one. So I think that I'm going to end up doing 2 of them, training certifications, to just kind of have some more stuff in my back pocket that helps me kind of invest back into the business and frame that I'm trying to go and direction I'm trying to go in my life. So I think I'm going to end up doing the ACSM certification, which is, oh man, I'm going to butcher what it is right now. American Society of Sports Medicine. I don't know. We can cut that out if it's wrong, but it might not be. And then the other one is actually the company on it puts on like a really cool, like functional fitness training certification class that you can get through their website. And it's essentially all online, and it's online coaching, and it's self-paced, which is kind of neat. So you'll pay the money to do those. And, all that to say, like, sometimes when I'm training guys and I'm looking at them, I'm like, fuck man, like what makes me qualified to do this? Like I sometimes will forget that feeling of like imposter syndrome, where I'm like, dude, like I don't have a certification. This guy could easily just be training me. Like what do I know, and I've done a lot of
I feel
research,
that.
and I've tried to make myself better, and I feel like um I've built, my body from the ground up, and I'm starting to learn more and more every day. But I think that just happens when you're in a profession. I think that you got to start somewhere. And the fact that your profession is creating and doing all these like video edits and making all this stuff happen, you're never going to be the best. There's always going to be more things to learn. And I think that's the same in fitness. And I get the double whammy of it in aviation, man. Like some days I walk out to a plane, I'm like, I get paid to do this and I don't know half the rules, like it's amazing how much information's out there. Like being a doctor, there's a reason that you're a doctor and you specialize in, you know, uh, cancer, you specialize in, orthopedic surgery, you specialize in being what's your doctor? That's the your
Oh, the
urologist.
urologist.
Yeah, like those
Yeah.
those guys and girls find their niche and then they work in that, but expanding and knowing more and more and more, and like maybe you have a sports medicine background or whatever the case is. I think that, personally, I'm like, shit, dude, like I know I have the wings of gold on my chest from graduating naval flight training, which was a super cool thing, but every time I step into the plane, or I guess it comes in waves, but there's sometimes where I step in the plane, I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like I think I'm doing this stuff right. Like I think I'm
No,
I'm
I hear you.
trying and grinding and
The
trying to learn
principle.
more. Yeah, trying to learn more about our plane. And then the same thing in fitness. And I think that getting a certification and having that kind of written down, whether I put it on a wall to display, which I probably won't do,
Frame that hoe.
or
Put
yeah,
that in
or
the
or just have it,
kitchen table.
or just have it just so that I feel like more validated, I guess. Um, and I think that's kind of something interesting. I actually talked to Chelsea about it yesterday, and she was like, "Dude, you're good at what you do, and have a little more." I want to say confidence because I have confidence in what I do, but some days you just kind of have that like,
I
"Am
mean,
I
it could be
really?
confidence. I
Am
feel
I,
that way. Yeah,
am I
like
really it?"
I feel that way. Like you said, you feel that in the gym and you feel that at work. I feel that in my personal life, and then I feel that way at work too. Is that I'm in that situation where things aren't organized. So it's like I I'm confident in my abilities and things like that, but this painful process of progress, like am I doing a good job? Like are we meeting the goal? Like things are just so unorganized at work that I sometimes doubt myself and I'm like, man, like I love my life and I love this job and I'm so thankful I'm out of hospitality, but like this is like a really weird setup and it's not traditional whatsoever. And I'm like navigating that and then I get to work from home. So my life has kind of evolved into this work life, which is cool. I get to work from home sometimes and sometimes that is weird because it's like all of a sudden I'm doing a Zoom call with the CPAs and it's like during the midday and then kind of took the wind out of my sails when I realized that I was gonna have to pay them so much and then pay like 800 in taxes that I got after. And it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing in my business either, which is my personal life. So it's like, I feel that. Yeah, it's like I haven't heard imposter syndrome like that, but I mean, it totally makes sense of like doubting yourself. And if I'm not getting um guided or like uh even encouragement or like criticism, fuck anything, dude. It'll give you, it goes both ways. Like
Yeah.
no feedback at all. At least tell me I'm doing it wrong so I can fix it. And I care about what I do. And um it's very interesting lately. So yeah, that's where the highs and lows come in a little bit too, is that, you know, am I doing a good job? And then marriage too, it's like that's the one thing I feel like we're doing really good on, kind of holding on to that is me and Justin are doing well and we love life together and stuff.
I think you know, every single day I grow up, and I'm never really going to grow up, but every single day I get older, I guess I've figured out that nobody really has shit figured out, man. Like the second you think you know it, you really don't know it. Life will throw you that curveball or it throws you that, and you're like, man, really didn't know anything. And I think it's that way in professions, where you can't just learn everything about a company and, you're a cog in the system and you figure out your one job and you're stamping whatever passports at TSA, like that's a pretty defined job where like I know that I need to make sure this person comes through TSA and they've got the right paperwork and boom, welcome to the United States, like they're stamping it. And then that's like that. I totally can understand those guys may not feel like that. And not to diss our, talk illy. I'm definitely not doing that about anybody's profession, but when something is less defined and there's more gray area, I think that opens the world up more to those situations where you're like, fuck, I still don't know anything, man. And I
Yeah, or
think,
just the unfulfilled kind of thing too.
yeah.
Is that, if I'm really about this shit, then I need to find joy in it. And not a lot of people can make professions out of their passion. But I mean, if I can make it work, I'd love to.
Well, I'll be here just pushing you to make sure
Hell
that you
yeah.
continue to show up for the
Well,
pod.
if I'm being real, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna fuck that up.
50 episodes. We said it. We said on the
Yeah,
last
we
one.
did.
50 at least.
Even this is a win. This is content. This would like make my gears turn. But the excitement of like putting out content every week, like I'm already focused on the next thing. Right. Like I could be like, hey, I'm working a full-time job. I'm busy doing this. We're doing the podcast together. That's cool. Like that's not enough. I gotta keep doing it. Then I gotta do the other stuff. So we'll see when I'm content, right? I gotta find that. So I don't know, man. We're working. Glad we woke up. That's the thing about life too, right? Don't know how much time we have. I'm glad that we're on the pod again. We made another week, bro.
I know, man. What is this? This makes six?
This is episode 6.
Six. And did you check at how many plays we had so far? I think you sent me
Oh, look right now.
the thing. How unreal is that? Like you sent me the numbers the other day, and I guess you can give us a live update of what that is.
So we're at 388 plays.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think 500 would be really cool. Like, I mean, obviously this is still big time, but
It's
just for
weird
the
because I just have it on like repeat in my car. So like probably
oh,
370 of those have just been me. Just
just skipping.
That's
skipping.
right. That's right. No, I'm just playing. But no, it's really cool. And like I said, we keep getting like really cool feedback. And actually today, your brother hit me up. Cam was
Oh,
like, he was like, man, like you guys are really doing a great job. Like you're killing it. And that stuff is super encouraging that we're having real people that care. It's really
hell
neat.
yeah. No, for sure, man. Well, it's been nice, bro. It's been nice catching up. For real.
Always is, man. So
Yeah.
I know that we may not be able to get your dad on the next one, but again, it's only number 6, so we still got time.
True.
But with it being number 6, that means we've been at it for a month and a half, right? That's like six weeks
Yeah,
of
we've stayed
being a
consistent.
part of the grind. I think it's starting to make it like a really positive, at least trend and habit for us to make
Yeah.
sure that we're dedicating. And we didn't get to do it on Sunday this time, but that's okay. Sometimes life will happen and we'll have to pivot, but
Yeah.
adapt and overcome, baby.
And then I told you the first weekend of October I'm doing Oahu. So we can try to plan around that too.
Yeah, for sure.
You're the busy guy. You just tell me when.
Well, yeah,
Now I'm the busy guy.
yeah, I know. It's all right. You're getting there too. I got it going on because our lacrosse season isn't going on right now, but it
Oh
will
shit.
be.
Sorry, I finished.
You're good.
No, I was gonna say you were gonna tell me about your day earlier. Today was
Uh,
your first day of a training.
no, I was saying that I took, and that's what I was talking about with Cole. Like I took him
Oh,
out
okay,
to the
okay, okay.
park. Yeah, yeah. And we slacklined and like worked out in the park, and it was
Okay.
mad fun. But
So
yeah.
earlier Blaise called me about recording and then started telling me about his day. And I said, wait. Stop telling me. Wait for the podcast. So I cut him off just to get the phone call started on the Zoom or whatever. So I thought he hadn't finished that thought. Okay. You already told me that.
Let them know, like you blue balled the shit out of me right there, dude. I was like so excited to just tell you about what was going on. And you're like,
Chill.
like put a sock in it, bro. Chill out. But yeah, so that was cool. And then also our lacrosse coaching hasn't started up in full swing, but we should in the next couple of weeks start with that. And what I was going to tell you is that when I start that, I'm going to try and get group training with the kids on the lacrosse team.
Mhm.
So I want to try and emulate kind of the business model that I'm looking to do that I kind of touched on earlier, where I bring kids in and I train them as a group. I'm going to rent out a gym space, whether that's the gym I work at or someone else's gym, for like an hour, and then have the kids come in and train them and kind of do it, be like, hey, here's the group rate, come in and hit it up and we'll get you stronger, faster, more mobile and more explosive on the field and kind of make you better. And I think that it'll just, I don't know if there's going to be a better feeling than having those kids like come in and perform like that and then improve their game on the field and seeing like the
It's gonna
progress. I
show
think
you a glimpse of the future when you
I
do it
know.
for
I'm
a
hoping,
career,
man.
man.
I'm hoping. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. And honestly, I think this is what I want to do, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's also gonna be like a test thing, like I don't have to do it. At this point, I have no money invested in a gym or crazy amounts of equipment. Like I have a little bit at home, but I don't have like this thing that I'm gonna buy into before I try it. So this is kind of like me taking the car for a test drive that
Hell yeah.
it's like taking like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari for a test drive. It's like I can't afford this now, but like later, later we might be able
I
to buy
wonder
it.
how that works. Yeah, you could just go to a dealership and they don't know if you got cash or not. Could you
No
just
shot, dude. You're gonna have to show proof of income or something like that if you if you're test driving the Lambo.
I'm gonna walk in dressed just with this t-shirt. So guys, I got
Oh,
money, don't worry.
that's so funny that you say so, kind of on that same realm. My parents told me years ago, they used to live in San Pedro. San Pedro. Is it San Pedro or Pedro? You
I
gotta
think
correct me. You're
Pedro.
the LA boy, so it's down by you. Anyway, you don't have to, if you don't know where I'm talking about, just nod your head.
For
But
sure.
it they used to live there, and I guess when we were living or when they were living down there in LA, what they would do is they would like throw on fancy clothes and go to open houses at places that were like worth millions and millions of dollars back then. So
You
like
said
in
your
the
parents?
90s. Yeah, yeah, they used to do this.
Oh, that's
They would
fun.
do it as a date, right? So they would dress up and they would act like they were mad interested in the place, get free hors d'oeuvres or hors d'oeuvres
Hors
and like
d'oeuvres.
champagne and wine and just walk
Wow.
around.
Work in
And
the
I was just like,
system.
shit, man, like that is such a good idea. Like,
That is
just
awesome.
and talk about a cheap date, dude. You just got to put on something nice for a
Challenge of the
minute.
podcast.
That's it.
Go and pull this off and let us know. First person to do it.
Bro, could you imagine if all the open houses like down in LA, like all like Kyle shows up, Kyle and Melissa show
Kyle,
up, and
this
they're
is we're calling you out. Make this happen.
yo,
And then
he's
when
got
you're a
a
guest, tell us all about it.
yeah, dude. So
Can you
yeah,
imagine?
it's just like one of those kind of
Kyle, can
neat
you please?
things. One of those neat things, and I was like, man, I would love to do that. So when maybe when the time's right, we like find a time to go out and dress to the nines and go to Napa or somewhere like fancy like that, and just be like, yep, let's go check out some houses today and act like we're trust fund babies.
It's daddy's money,
That's
okay?
right, baby. Don't worry about it. Do you know what my dad does?
All these rich valley boys, valley kids driving their rich cars.
Oh my gosh, man. If only. If only.
Well,
All
it's
right,
been fun,
man.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, for
I gotta
sure.
order pizza. I'm trying to get mom and dad not to have to make food tonight. So
Oh, right
gotta
on. We'll
get some
go hit it
pizza
up.
delivered and shit.
It was good
Oh.
talking to you, man. I actually got to go cook dinner too myself. I gotta get it
Tell
done.
Chelsea
So
I said hi.
I will, man. You tell Jasmine and the fam that I'm ready for ping pong round 2. Let them know when they're ready
Be
to
like,
pull
yeah,
the
Blaze is
paddle
talking
out.
shit.
Yo,
He said pull up.
don't yeah. Don't say that. Don't say I was talking shit, but tell them I said hi and that we're ready to ping the pong whenever they are.
Just pull up again, dude.
I
You get to
know,
stay here
man,
for
but
free.
you don't forget that trip for me was that was a
Yeah.
spendy trip,
You
bro.
got deep pockets.
The
Oh,
boy,
also shout out. Let me gas Blaze up a little bit.
don't do that.
So out of everybody in the whole wedding party, Blaze literally sent me $300 to help cover the booze for the private charter. So I just want to put that out there, just a judgment or a piece of his character. He was the only one that was like, you know what, I got you, bro. And he sent me the money. And then when he found out that I paid for the private charter, he tried to help pitch in for that, but I said no, because that was kind of my gift to everybody. Because I could get on a boat for free whenever, but this was gonna be special. So shout out Blaze right here. He the boy. He's the one that'll put skin in the game.
See, well, that kind of goes back to the thing. It's like people don't forget how you make them feel, man. The money is gonna come back, but like I
Yeah, you
wanted
give
you
me
to feel like,
butterflies, dog.
yeah, I do. I
What?
got goosebumps too, and you said that. It was so nice. You gave me a compliment. Look at we're circling back to more
Oh
things we talked
shit.
about.
True, you're right.
But yeah, just like I wanted you to feel like we had your back, and that people were there for you, and
Hell yeah.
that's kind of what it was about for me. So was it probably a smart financial move for me? Maybe not, but
I
I
mean, I
felt,
appreciate it.
yeah, for sure, man. So I tried to give you the money from winning the ping pong tournament, but you wouldn't
And
take
I
that.
didn't take it. Nah, it's principle, dude. You were
I
giving too
know,
much.
I know.
Wait,
But
and then here, let me make this about me now. Bro, the flask.
Yes.
We never said that. Remember
Oh man, I don't. It's like in the other room.
in the
I
trash?
will. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no. Come on now, come on now. I think that when we should have everybody on the wedding party on. Will definitely has to come on, and Kyle and Nick, of course.
For
But like
sure.
we should have everybody like come on with the flasks and just be like, "This is my given name. This is my
This
Alex
is
given name," and like put it up like this.
well, so remember I made sure Blaise, like maybe I should clip what I said to you in the first episode in this edit so you'll see.
You
But I
should.
told Blaise, I was like, what do you self-proclaim again? What's that thing? And then he's like, best plus one. Well, I got him a flask that was custom and it said Blaise and it said best plus one and then just the wedding date. So
I'm
I was
glad you
like,
didn't
I
put
was
self-proclaimed because you actually validated the fact that
well,
I.
it wouldn't give me enough
Oh,
characters.
yeah. Don't fucking do
It
that to
would,
me.
yeah,
Don't take that
yeah.
away. You can't take it
I
away.
tried and then I couldn't. So I wasn't gonna
Oh
give it to you and
man.
ran out. It wouldn't have made sense if it just said self-proclaimed and then nothing else.
Yeah.
Or self-pro, because that's a lot
Yeah.
of letters.
That's too many letters. Oh man. All right,
So
bro. Well, I'll let you go. Go order your pizza. It was
hell
super
yeah.
good catching up, man. Again, it's the best part of the week, man, for me. So
Hell yeah, dude. It's a highlight for sure. Hell yeah. Much love, bro.
all right, man.
We'll catch up soon. We'll get the next one going.
All right, bro. See ya.
All right, peace.
Yeah, bye.